Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where a robot clone is pretending to be the president, this is Ballot.
That's right. If Joe Biden was a robot clone, surely this guy is too. Let's hit this. So, President Trump, or at least a robot clone claiming to be President Trump, finally emerged from his week-long disappearance yesterday to announce a new location for Space Command headquarters. And by disappearance, I mean he only posted 247 times on Truth Social instead of his usual 400. The internet had gone completely wild with conspiracy theories about Trump's health. People were convinced he was seriously ill, or worse. What started all this panic was some bruising on Trump's hand that people noticed during a cabinet meeting. The president has been self-conscious about it, even covering it with makeup, which, let's be honest, is the most relatable thing about Donald Trump. We've all had that one blemish we tried to hide with concealer that ended up looking worse than the original problem. His doctor explained that the bruising comes from frequent handshaking combined with aspirin use. Apparently, one time during the campaign, Trump got cut shaking hands with a woman who had a ring and long nails. So now we know what Trump's kryptonite is: elderly church ladies with jewelry. Then Trump didn't speak in public for nearly a week and looked like crap in the 2 photos we got over the weekend. The White House press secretary called the speculation crazy and baseless and said it was being pushed by Democrat activists and left-wing lunatics, which is offensive because she didn't include snarky podcasters telling jokes written by AI. Trump told reporters, "I've been very active, actually." And to prove it, he mentioned that 247-word Truth Social post where he complained about a subcontractor scuffing the Rose Garden stonework. Nothing says presidential vigor like a detailed social media rant about landscaping contractors. The whole thing reminded me of when your grandmother doesn't answer her phone for 6 hours, and suddenly the entire family is convinced she's had a stroke, but it turns out she was just at bingo and forgot to charge her phone. Tuesday had started with so much excitement. The White House had announced Trump would speak at 2 p.m. Was he resigning? Was he announcing he was going to Walter Reed and J.D. Vance was going to be in charge for a few hours? Maybe he was going to release the Epstein files. Nope. Trump announced Space Command is packing up and moving from Colorado Springs to Huntsville, Alabama. And in typical Trump fashion, he managed to turn a military logistics decision into a jab at mail-in voting. The president stood in the Oval Office surrounded by Alabama's congressional delegation, who apparently wouldn't stop talking to him about this move. Trump said they fought harder for it than anybody else. That's all they wanted to talk about. Now, this whole thing started back in 2018 when Trump first established Space Command. Then Biden came in and said, actually, let's keep it in Colorado where it already is. Which makes sense. Moving a military headquarters is slightly more complicated than changing your Netflix password. But Trump had other ideas. He announced that Huntsville will now be known as Rocket City, which is adorable. Although I'm not sure Alabama needed another nickname. They already had the Heart of Dixie and Sweet Home Alabama. The best part was when Trump criticized Colorado for using mail-in ballots, saying that played a big factor in his decision. So apparently, the future of American space defense now depends on how you submit your voting preferences. Trump also casually mentioned that the U.S. military had just shot at a drug boat from Venezuela. He said this the same way you'd mention picking up milk at the grocery store. Oh, and we just destroyed a narco-terrorist vessel in the Caribbean. Anyway, back to Alabama. The man went from talking about Rocket City to actual rockets in about 30 seconds. That's not a press conference, that's a movie trailer. Also, he's sick, he's dying, he's resigning, he's mad at the contractor. Stay focused, people. All these distractions keep your mind off the Epstein files. And then, just for good measure, Trump announced he's sending the National Guard to Chicago, calling it a hellhole. So in one afternoon, we got space commands moving, drug boats exploding, and military deployments to the Midwest. But not the Epstein files. But wait. Last night around 7, the House Oversight Committee released 33,295 pages of files it received from the Department of Justice on Epstein, a convicted sex offender, in response to a subpoena for the records. What's in it? I don't know. I didn't read them yet, but if Trump is in them, I'll be sure to let you know.
Want to hear your favorite shows without any ads? It's easy.
If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, just tap the banner that says Uninterrupted Listening and unlock commercial-free versions of this show and all your other Calaroga favorites for just $4.99 a month. Even better, you get a 30-day free trial to start. That includes Palace Intrigue, your daily dose of royal family drama, 5 good news stories where we spotlight feel-good headlines, 5 daily trivia questions to test your brain, daily comedy news, bringing you the latest in comedy, celebrity trials for the biggest courtroom showdowns, and Taylor Swift Today for all things Taylor. Plus, coming September 14th, binge Season 2 of the hit series Crown and Controversy. This season, we explore how everything changed the moment Meghan met Harry, and the ripple effects that shook the royal family to its core. The power struggles, the family fractures, and the love story that rewrote the royal rulebook. All episodes drop that Sunday exclusively for subscribers. Go ad-free, binge more, and never miss a beat. Tap Uninterrupted Listening now.
So there's a viral video going around showing someone throwing trash bags out of a White House window, and naturally, Trump and his own press team can't agree on what actually happened. The video shows multiple items getting tossed from a second-floor window onto the White House lawn. Now, after 9/11, those windows were supposedly sealed and bulletproof, so people started getting suspicious. One investigative journalist pointed out that to throw something out, you'd have to remove the entire window from its frame, which seems like a lot of work just to dispose of some garbage. When reporters asked the White House about it, a spokesperson said it was just a contractor doing routine maintenance while Trump was away. Pretty straightforward explanation. Case closed, right? Wrong. A few hours later, Trump himself gets asked about the same video during a live press conference and declares it probably AI generated. He insisted those windows don't open, saying they're bulletproof and weigh about 600 pounds each. Then he added this gem. My wife was complaining about it the other day. She said, I'd love to have a little fresh air come in, but you can't. So Melania Trump is apparently trapped in the world's most expensive prison, dreaming of a gentle breeze while surrounded by 600-pound bulletproof windows. That's not the White House. That's a very fancy panic room. Trump also said he would never dump items out a White House window because there's cameras all over the place. Which raises the question, if there are cameras everywhere, wouldn't we know definitively whether this video is real or fake? This isn't that footage of Bigfoot in the woods. It's security footage from the weekend at Donnie's. Portions of today's show were made with the help of AI and a robot clone president.
Hey Swifties, it's Allie from the podcast Taylor Swift Today, your ultimate source for everything Taylor. We follow every moment of her incredible journey, from breaking tour records to new music drops. And now we're covering the most exciting era yet, Taylor's engagement to Travis Kelce. Get all the wedding speculation, fashion predictions, venue rumors, and relationship updates you crave. New episodes drop every Sunday, but with so much happening in Taylor's world, we're bringing you bonus episodes throughout the week. Don't miss a single detail of this fairy tale romance. Follow Taylor Swift Today on your favorite podcast player right now. Stay fearless.
From Calaroga Shark Media comes Celebrity Trials, the explosive new podcast that exposes the truth behind America's most captivating cases. I'm Reed Carter, and I'll take you inside real-live daily trials and classic celebrity cases where fame, power, and justice collide. From Jeffrey Epstein's billion-dollar sex trafficking empire to the prep school killer who walked free, from family annihilators to celebrity plea deals. Discover the shocking verdicts, twisted evidence, and cultural forces that shape American justice. These aren't just crimes. They're cultural moments that reveal who we really are. Justice isn't always swift, but it's absolutely riveting. Celebrity Trials, available wherever you get your podcasts.
You can call me James. I spent 23 years designing aircraft that officially don't exist for agencies you think TV made up. Until I started asking the wrong questions. Navy ships are recording objects moving at impossible speeds. Infrastructure is failing in coordinated patterns. The moon looks smaller than it did 10 years ago. None of this is a coincidence. The official explanations don't add up. This is Paranormal Aliens, where we connect the dots they don't want connected. If you're hearing this, you know where to get podcasts. Follow Paranormal Aliens. New episodes weekly until they shut me down.